All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga HIIT. So this month our theme is HIIT It, which means we're taking interval training, high intensity interval training, and applying it to all of our classes, even our yoga practice. We're also doing assessments this month that will repeat down the road, and we've done quite a few assessments. I only have maybe 2 or 3 left. Today's assessment is the sit and reach test, which measures flexibility. And the setup for that is fairly complex, and I don't want to take time out of our class today because we have a lot of work to get done in class today within our hour. So I have put a video out on my YouTube channel and started a new playlist called the LisaBug Fitness Assessment Series. So there is a couple of videos up, and one of them is the information on the setup for the sit and reach test. So I want you to go over and watch that video. If you're not sure how to grab it, where it is, just send me a quick text or email and I'll send you a link so you can quickly take a look at that sit and reach assessment. So also, if you missed class on Tuesday, we did the plank assessment, and I'll have a video up soon for that. But today we are going to focus on the spring equinox. So we just celebrated that a couple of days ago, and that's that place where the daylight and the night are equal time, and then our days start getting longer. And in traditional yoga practice from centuries ago, they have done a series of sun salutations during the spring and fall equinox. And the magic number is 108 sun salutations. That's too daunting for us to do in one 60-minute class today. It usually takes between an hour and a half to 2 hours to complete that. So we are just going to do a snippet of those 108 sun salutations. My goal is to get 1/3 of those done in small bites throughout our class today. So we are going to attempt to do 6 sun salutations 6 times for a total of 36. Now I have several ways we can do that sun salutation. The first time I demonstrate it, I'll be using the chair. So those of you that have shoulder issues, you're going to stay with the chair for all of your sun salutations if that's best for your body. Those of you that want to take it down onto the mat, we'll be demonstrating that as well. So a lot of options, and I just really want you to listen to your body and take care of yourself. The benefit and importance of our sun salutation is it's really a full body experience. And it involves a lot of the things that we've been assessing this month. So it involves our hamstring flexibility, that ability to bend over and pick something up off the floor. It also focuses on the ability to get down onto the floor and to stand back up. It focuses on our ability to brace our core with a plank. So many things that we do in a sun salutation apply to the assessments that we've been doing. So we are going to attempt to do 6 rounds of 6 sun salutations. And I'd like for you also to focus on several things we've been doing for our assessment. We'll be working on the back scratch test. So if you have a yoga strap, I'm going to be using that for our back scratch test. We'll be working on flexibility of the shoulders and a chest expansion. We're going to be working on sitting in chair pose, which helps us with our wall sit assessment, various things like that. So I'm really going to pull our assessments into our class today. I hope you're up for it and ready, but I want you to monitor your own body. And if you're getting through those sun salutations and you need a break, I want you to take it and do as many as you feel comfortable doing. So at the top of my mat here, I have my chair for those of you that are going to use the chair for your sun salutation. And let's come up, stand back away from the chair. We're just going to focus on that very first part of our sun salutation to warm up. So take a nice big inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, take a stretch as we're saluting the sun and welcoming in spring. And then soften your knees and fold down toward the floor and just check in on your hamstrings. And then I want you to do this at your own pace a few times with the breath. So we'll inhale and come up and And exhale and fold down. So we're gently warming up that posterior chain. And I talk about that in our fitness assessment video that's on YouTube about what we're stretching and testing when we do the sit and reach test. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. And let's do one more. Stretch up, inhale. And exhale, come down into your forward fold, and we're going to stay here for a few breaths. If you're using your chair, your hands can be on top of the chair. And we can also place hands on opposite elbows just to hang in ragdoll pose here and let the head relax. The back of the legs stretch. The lower back release, the mid back to lengthen. And one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Releasing your hands, if you're going to use the chair for your sun salutation, I'd like you to place your hands on top of the chair and step your feet back to a plank. If you're using the ground, hands go down to the mat, step your feet back and take your plank. Now from the ground, you can also drop your knees. So if you choose not to do the half series vinyasa in your sun salutations here, I want you to focus on your plank and just breathe through it as we go through our sun salutation round. So our half series vinyasa, working the strength of our upper body for our push-up assessment, we are going to bend our elbows and come all the way down to the ground and take a baby cobra. If you're on your chair for this, from your plank position, you're just going to slightly bend your elbows coming down and then extend your heart forward for that up dog on your chair. Then let's all push up to downward facing dog. So either from the chair or the floor, press back and stretch. In this first sun salutation, we're taking it really slow so that you can explore what you would like to do for your sun salutation. And then to finish, we just either walk or maybe even jump our feet forward till we're back in our forward bend. And we'll inhale to come all the way up. And exhale the arms down. So I'm going to do one more sun salutation using my chair. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale and fold. You can place your hands on the ground. Step your feet back into plank. You can choose to remain in plank or bend your elbows slightly, coming down into your chaturanga. Drop your hips, extending the heart forward, or take your baby cobra on the floor. You can even do your up dog on the floor. Then we'll press down to your down dog, dropping your heels, stretching through the chest muscles. And then taking as many steps as you need to walk the feet forward into your forward bend. And inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, lowering the arms down. So that's 2 sun salutations. I'm going to pick up the pace. You don't have to do as many as I do. Use your chair, use your floor. We're going to do 4 more sun salutations. So let's inhale up. Exhale, come on down, chair or the floor. Step back to your plank pose. Either staying here or dropping to the knees. Lower down to the belly. Keep those elbows squeezed in. Extend into your baby cobra or up dog. Press back up from the knees or toes. Come into your down dog. Take as many steps as you need to walk the feet forward into forward bend. Inhale, come up. From here, we're going right back down. Sun salutation number 4. Walk back to plank. Knees or toes, chaturanga. Extend the spine, cobra or up dog. Press back up, doing your push-up for strength. Back into your down dog. Take as many steps as you need to come into your forward fold. Inhale, come up. Come right back down. Walk back to plank. Knees or toes, chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Pressing up, down dog. Step or jump the feet forward, forward fold. Inhale, come up. We have one more, forward fold. Walk back to plank. Knees or toes, chaturanga or hold your plank. Baby cobra or up dog. Press back to downward dog. Walk into that forward fold. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bring the palms of the hands to your heart. And we are going to sit into chair pose for our recovery and hold. So our chair pose helps us to work that leg strength for our wall sit assessment. You can take it down as deeply as you'd like. Feet can be tight together or hips distance apart. I really want you to brace your abs. Keep your shoulders back and down. Focus on your breathing. So a few of you gave me some nice ideas when you did that assessment for the wall sit, how you used your mind to stay into that pose a little bit longer, and how you used your breathing. We have 10 seconds holding. One more breath. And come up to mountain pose. So what I'm going to do is do my pace of 6 sun salutations. I'm not going to do a lot of cueing because you are going at your own pace with your sun salutations. So I just want you to keep a steady rhythm. And when I'm finished with my last one, we'll join together towards our chair pose position. So really come into your own body, into your own breath as we prepare, standing nice and tall into mountain. And we'll begin together. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to the chairs or to the floor. Our first pose is our plank. And then you'll move from there through your sun salutation sequence at your own pace. So if you only get 4 sun salutations in this time frame, that's okay. If you just get 2 or all 6, we're working together as a community, but we are on our own here. Connect with your breathing. Connect with your body's alignment. The strength and stability of your shoulders. If you need a break, child's pose is a great pose to take. Or any other stretch that you need to do. We're halfway. I'm at 3 sun salutations. Maybe try a couple of different variations. Raise the bar for yourself a little bit this morning. This is difficult. We're heating the body. Also think about stepping back into your plank with a different foot each time. So you're kind of balancing out the way you're doing that sun salutation. I'm on my final sun salutation. So we'll prepare to meet in our mountain pose. Hands in our Namaste Anjali Mudra. Just check in. And then if you have your yoga strap close, we'll prepare for a chest expansion. I'm going to take my strap behind my back and open my hands about shoulders width apart, or you can even interlace your hands together. And let's stretch through the chest. So this area of our body is extremely tight. And those of you that struggled a little bit on your back scratch test, doing this chest expansion is going to help you to work on the mobility and flexibility of your shoulders. Now, if you'd like to, let's sink into chair while we're holding this stretch and work on our wall sit. And we're not taking this stretch to a place where we feel any pain. This should be gentle. Our abdominals should be connected. Sit your weight back in your heels a little bit. Relax your neck, and you can even move your head around a little bit as you're holding this stretch. And we have 15 seconds. One more breath. And rise up out of your chair. Release your chest expansion and your yoga strap. We're moving into our third set of sun salutations. Hopefully you found a rhythm and something that really works good for your body. I'm going to do all of my sun salutations using the chair on this round. Let's begin together. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to your plank. Chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Push back to your down dog. Walk your feet in, forward fold, and come up. All right, our goal is 5 more. If you feel like you can get that for yourself or wherever you are today. Good. Focus on strong stability of the spine. That's the importance of our plank. Our chaturanga builds that strength in the shoulders, pecs, and triceps. Down dog stretches that posterior chain as well as the forward fold. If we're coming down to the floor, we're working on our ability to get up and down off the floor, very functional movement. I'm halfway through, 3 sun salutations to go. We must do the thing we think we cannot. Our quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. You've got what it takes. We have one more. Well, let's finish together meeting in our mountain pose. And we are halfway through our interval training of our sun salutations. So usually when they do the 8 sun salutations, there's a little system of moving a bead across so you can keep track of your counting. I'm using almonds. So I have 6 almonds. Now I have 3 over here, so we're halfway. All right, let's work on our back scratch. So with your yoga strap, let's hold it in your right hand. Reach that arm way up to the ability that you can raise your arm above the head, then bend your elbow back behind you. Now we'll take the left hand and give it a little bit of a push, not too extensive, just a gentle push, and then take that left hand and reach behind your back and grab hold of that yoga strap and walk your fingers together for our back scratch, which in yoga is our cow face. Then if you'd like to sit into chair to work on the strength of your legs for our wall sit assessment, we're holding here for 60 seconds and breathing. Now during that time, if you can walk your fingertips a little closer together, or some of you I know can actually bind your fingers. Pull your shoulder blades back together. Keep your head facing forward. Make sure you're not feeling any strain in these muscles. It's a gentle stretch wherever you can take it today. And the importance being the mobility of our shoulders. We can also get a good indication of how our posture is in our upper back. And we have one more breath. And let's come up out of your chair pose. Release the bottom arm gently first. And extend the top arm up. And then lower that arm down, releasing your strap to your chair as we move into our 4th interval of Surya Namaskar A. Let's begin together. Inhale and exhale. Take it back to plank. And go at your own pace. Modify this any way you need. Strengthening our core, our shoulders, Working on flexibility. Heating up the body. Spiking our metabolism, welcoming in spring. Now remember, if you want to leave that half series out with that chaturanga, just hold your plank. Give yourself some positive self-talk. I am strong enough. And a lot of times this is more about the mind than it is the body. We're halfway, 3 more to go. I'm on my last one. We'll meet one another back into our mountain pose. Check in on your breathing. My heart rate's definitely really up. This requires a lot of muscular use. All right, if we're all back together in mountain pose, let's work on our back scratch or our cow face assessment. I'm going to move an almond over. I only have 2 almonds left on the left-hand side. That's pretty exciting. Okay, let's bring that left arm up. Now this could be a whole different ballgame on this side because we have some differences in our mobility. Let's bend that elbow back and then give it a push gently. Reach the right arm back behind. Walk those fingertips as closely as you can. So for most of us that are right arm dominant, this is probably a greater distance to be able to touch your fingers. Not always, but generally, because our right arm is typically in front of our body all the time. So that shoulder's a little bit tighter. Option to sit into your chair pose as we hold cow face. So if you're taking chair pose with me, each time, this would be our 4th time we've come down and held chair for about a minute. So that is one of our intervals for class today. It's working on interval training for the legs. Just a few more breaths. Maybe you can inch those fingertips a little closer. If not, it's okay. Just hold it at your edge. One more breath. And And we'll press up out of chair, extending the spine slightly. Very carefully release the bottom arm first, taking care not to strain your shoulder. Then reach the left arm back up and lower that arm down, releasing your yoga strap. All right, we only have 2 more rounds of our sun salutation. Remember, you don't have to meet my goal. I want you to do what you can do within this time frame. Stand tall. Pull those shoulder blades back. Find really good posture. And we'll begin together. Breathe in and breathe out. Stepping back to your plank. That negative push-up brings us down to the floor or towards our chair. Really stretch in your down dog. Feel that increase in your flexibility with these repetitions that we're doing. Our body's getting warmer, which allows those muscles to stretch a little bit better. Again, if you're feeling too much fatigue due to your half series, just hold your plank for a couple of breaths, leave out the reverse push up, the chaturanga, and then press right into your down dog. So why 108 sun salutations, you might ask? Well, I'm not sure exactly, but 108 is a sacred number in the history of yoga. And there are other things that are associated with that number. But for us today, it's just a number. We're doing what we can do in our bodies. I'm halfway through. I have 3 more. If you need to leave out a down dog and you're on the mat, take a child's pose instead of pressing to your down dog and relax your shoulders. And I'm on number 6, round 5. Whenever you finish the round you're on, we'll again meet one another in our mountain pose. And I get to move an almond. Oh, there's only one left on the left-hand side. Whoop, that one fell off the chair. Okay, so another one of our assessments is the single leg stance. So I'd like you to really ground into your feet, find that good Pada Bandha, and we'll lift our right knee up. You might remember on the assessment for this one, it's important that you don't move your hands. So let's bring our hands to our hips, pull our shoulder blades back. You can even hold your yoga strap behind you. You can even try your cow face arms. Keep your gaze straight forward. So if you did the assessment with me, in the assessment, if you took your hands off of your hips or dropped your eye gaze or set your foot to the floor, that was the end of the assessment. But not for today in yoga class. I want you to do what you need to. If you have to move your arms, do what you need to keep your balance. Because that's more functional in life. If we're losing our balance walking on an icy street, we're not going to keep our hands in our pockets, right? We're going to take our arms and we're going to move them so that we can try not to fall. So let's hold here another 15 seconds. My goal is to hold this about 90. One more breath. Come back to mountain. All right, this is our final round of Surya Namaskar A. So let's give it our best. Do as many as you can with the best form you can, the highest level that you can. We'll start together. Breathe in. Breathe out. If you've been using the floor and now you need to go to the chair, that's okay. We're listening to our body. If the shoulders are getting tender, modify the way you need to today. I'm halfway through 3 more of this final sequence. We're on our final sun salutation. And we're meeting back in our mountain pose. Take the time to get there wherever you are in your round. Pull those shoulder blades back, stand really tall. And then we'll prepare for our last single leg stance. So we're standing on the right foot and talking to quite a few people. This tends to be the harder side for a lot of us. So let's really ground into that foot, spread your toes a little bit, activate the leg, the glutes, and we'll pick up the left knee. Your hands can be at your hips. You can take your cow face for your back scratch. You can use your strap behind your body, or just let your arms help you to make adjustments. Our goal is to see what we can do in 90 seconds. Find your focal point, that drishti. Just about 20 seconds to go. And one more breath. And come back to mountain. I'm going to move the final almond over for 1/3 of our 108 sun salutations. Let's stand really tall. It's time to take some wonderful stretches. So prepare to come down to the mat. We'll inhale up one more time. Exhale and dive down into our forward bend. And step back to hands and knees. And just begin to move gently through cat and cow. So you might feel some tension in your low back after all those planks, after all the cobras and up dogs. So just gently move through your lower back, mid back and upper back, tipping your tailbone up and down in your pelvic tilt. And we'll find our neutral spine. We'll move through thread the needle by lifting your right arm up and see how far you can expand that arm up to the ceiling. Now, if this bothers your shoulder, you can place your fingertip on the side of your head and just pull your elbow up and then thread that hand underneath. 3 repetitions, go nice and slow, good range of motion. And our last one. So once we come down, if you feel like you want to move into that stretch again that helps with our back scratch, you're going to take your left hand and bring it behind your back and try to reach it around toward your right hip crease. You can also just set it there at your sacrum or bring your hand to your hip, but give your left shoulder a little stretch there. And then slide that hand out from behind your back. Place your hand right underneath your shoulder to press yourself up. Inhale, reach. exhale just down to all fours. Left arm lifts up. Notice any difference on this side. You need to bend your elbow. Pull that elbow up toward the ceiling as much as you can. You're not using your shoulder, you're using the rotation of your spine. And then reach down and thread that needle. And again, inhale. So although this does stretch our shoulder, I want you to think about this coming from your spine and your ability to rotate. One more. Then hold that, thread the needle. And if you'd like that little extra stretch for your right shoulder, reach your right hand behind your back any amount. And just breathe here. Try to even out the amount of body weight you feel in your right knee as compared to your left knee. So try not to rock over onto your left side. So really balance out your pelvis. Relax your left shoulder as you're stretching it across your body and your neck. And carefully release the right arm from behind you. Press it into the floor. Pull yourself up. Inhale. And exhale. Kneeling lunge with the right foot. So we'll step that right foot forward. Take a big step with it and then shift down into a nice hip flexor stretch and bring yourself as upright as you can. So you can keep your hands right here on your thighs, or we can start to reach the arms forward and up any amount. And the further we lift that arm, especially the left one, the more we'll feel that hip flexor stretch. So you can actually keep your right hand on your thigh. Just lift that left arm up. And if you want to add your back scratch, you're going to bend that left elbow. You might even grab your yoga strap to do that. And then we can reach behind and hold our cow face in low lunge. So of course this is just an option, but these are things we're working on this month. So it's great when we can make it more efficient when we're holding that low lunge to add in some other things we're working on. You can even slightly side bend over to the right to open up that hip flexor a little bit more. Okay, take your time. Bottom arm releases first, bring it down. Top arm releases second. And then we'll come into our kneeling Hanumanasana prep. So that is to shift the weight back into our hamstring stretch. You might need hands on blocks or on a chair in front of you, or you can be a little bit more upright, wherever you can get this good hamstring stretch behind the right leg. So this is going to help us with today's assessment that you can find online on my YouTube channel, the Sit and Reach test. In that test, we have this foot flexed. So I'd like you to pull it up if you can. In the test, we have the leg straight but not locked. But for today, if you need to bend it to stretch, that's okay. And we have our spine nice and neutral. Let's take one more breath here. And then the best way to come out of this is to take your right hand, bring it to the inside, and then just swing that leg back around to come to kneeling. We'll repeat those two stretches. The left leg steps forward. Now make sure that you don't take a small step, because then your lunge is going to look like this, and I want you to watch this foot. So take your time to really take a nice big step forward. I want you to even step further out than where your knee is, because then when you drop down, I want this knee directly over the ankle if possible. So we can stay here supported. We can lift both arms up. We can lift just the right arm. And we can take our cow face or back scratch test. Maybe using your yoga strap. So this time the right arm is up and the left one is behind. Try not to drop your chin, look forward and breathe. You can take a little side stretch over to the left. Boy, that really gets that hip flexor for me. And it works my core and balance a little bit more as well. Just a couple more breaths here. And as you come up very carefully, the bottom arm goes down and then around. The top arm reaches and then we lower. Hanumanasana. It's a flying monkey. All right, so we straighten this leg out as much as we can. If you need to support yourself, find that position that you need so you can hold this with good form. This could be a lot tighter side, or maybe it feels a lot easier. And that could change from day to day in our practice, just depending on what we do in everyday life. Let's hold here about another 30 seconds. And 2 more breaths. And then we'll bring the hand into the center so we can swing that left leg back around. Take a little child's pose for a moment, and I'd like you to take the knees wide. So open those knees, keep the big toes touching, sink your hips back any amount depending on the mobility of your knees. Drop your belly down, bring your forehead maybe to the mat and stretch those arms way out ahead of you, opening up through your lats. And that's a muscle group that we also assess in the sit and reach test because the arms are reaching out in front of you. So we need to have that mobility to reach the arms above the head if possible. Very functional in life for our bodies. Now take your time to come to seated. And we'll come to a seated wide leg stretch. So I'm going to turn so my legs are along the long end of my mat. So you're going to find a distance that feels comfortable for your legs. And again, let's try to point the toes right up to the ceiling. Now, sometimes we have differing mobility in where our legs are in the hip socket. So just notice if you put a pant seam down the front of your leg, would that be facing right up toward the ceiling? Or would your legs be rolling in, which mine can't really do that? Or would they be rolling out? That's what I'm more apt to do, is laterally rotate. So I want you to bring the top of your legs directly up toward the ceiling. If you have to bend your knees, this is okay. If you have to bring your legs closer together, that's fine. So I want you to feel both of your sitting bones planted into the floor. We're going to take our hands, right hand on top of the other, and you'll see this in your sit and reach assessment. And I want you to put your fingertips down and see if you can slide them out along the floor. Now, if that doesn't work for you, you can take your hands behind your back And give yourself a gentle press to bring yourself forward any amount. Come to your distance that you can go and hold. You'll see in the sit and reach assessment that we do that we have this position with our hands, because that keeps our shoulders pretty balanced. If we have our hands apart, sometimes one arm can reach a little further because we can twist in our shoulders. We're keeping our shoulders very stable. On your next inhale, bring yourself back up. Extend your right arm high. Left arm tucks under, and we are going to side stretch over toward the left side. In some yoga practices, you'll see it done this way, where you take your peace fingers and you slide them underneath your Achilles tendon, and you hold on here, and then you draw yourself down and reach across. Try not to let this hip lift up, so we're keeping both those sitting bones down. And then let's release that, come back up. Now we have our left hand stacked on our right, with our fingertips pointing forward. Inhale. Exhale. Take it forward as far as you feel comfortable. Hold. On your next inhalation, slowly pull yourself back up.